Hello everyone, I know many of you are watching football or still picking up the pieces from Hurricane Irma. We're still watching a very busy Atlantic basin. 3 systems to pay attention to, but only really one that we really need to focus on in the near future. If you're in a hurry, here's a quick overview of the 3. Hurricane Jose is not a direct threat, but it does send a high rip current risk to our Atlantic beaches for the next several days. Tropical Depression 15 soon to become, and maybe by the time you watch this, it'll become Tropical Storm Maria. That's the one we need to focus on. Possible U.S. impacts in the next 10 days. Tropical Storm Lee, not a concern to anyone. Over land, it will likely dissipate at sea. Here's the track from Jose. Notice it's coming quite close to the northeast there, up near Cape Cod and New England. There could be some fringe impacts from the wind and, of course, the surf. But here closer to home, we already have wave heights increasing along our Atlantic beaches into the 4, maybe 5-foot range from Vero Beach up to St. Augustine. And there will be some large ocean swells. So beachgoers, boat enthusiasts, stay away from the water unless you know what you're doing. I strongly urge everyone just to stay out of the water. Still lots of mess to clean up there as well from Irma. Here's a satellite picture on Tropical Depression 15, soon to be Maria. Notice it's got nice outflow here, fanning of these cirrus clouds aloft. Not a lot of convection here near the center just yet, but it's a healthy-looking system, and I think one that will strengthen. The official forecast from the National Hurricane Center brings it to a tropical storm by Sunday morning, and unfortunately, a hurricane. These are the islands that were hit from Hurricane Irma, and let's hope this forecast does not pan out, but right now, any storm there would be bad. Not going to be as strong as Irma, but right now, the northern and central Leeward Islands need to pay attention to soon-to-be-named Tropical Storm Maria. And there's the official forecast from the Hurricane Center, bringing it close to a Category 2 storm somewhere near Puerto Rico. This is on Thursday of the upcoming work week. Couple of, analysis maps for you for Tropical Depression 15. It does have a window here of little shear that it's taking with it. It might encounter some shear from the northeast there in the next 24 to 48 hours, so that may delay its strengthening just a bit, but it's also carrying with it a very large envelope of moisture. Look at this, all this green kind of surrounding it. It certainly has some dry air to its north and west, but it's taking with it the necessary moisture for further development. Now let's take all those conditions and move into the future. This is our tropical predictor map, and in the white shaded region there, you see right here, this is the forecast track from the National Hurricane Center, somewhere in this general direction. And notice it's moving into what we consider highly favorable conditions for development. This is taking into account the wind shear, the moisture, and the ocean temperatures. Of course, if it moves near the islands here, it would be in an area that's less favorable for development. But on both sides of the islands, notice we have favorable conditions for development by next Tuesday and Wednesday. Let me take this out a little further for you, and you'll see that as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, let me blow this up big screen for you as well so you can see it clearer. Thursday, it's in conditions that are favorable for development. Now, to the north and west of the system, if it goes any further than this, it might enter an environment that's a little less favorable, but let's not bank on this just yet. We're only taking this out 5 days with the National Hurricane Center's forecast, and we have a problem. We have a possible hurricane either side of the islands. If it stays south of the islands, you know the drill. The Gulf Coast is more at play. If it stays north of the islands, all of the Atlantic coast in the U.S. needs to pay attention to this. And for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and show you the 2 reliable forecast models. Let's be careful here, though. I'm not going to go out beyond maybe 7 days. This is where it is day 5 on Thursday. The GFS in red, the European in blue. The GFS is showing a weaker system because it moves over the islands. The European shows it somehow sneaking through the islands, and both models agree that this is going to be a system north of the islands. But let's remember, they were a little rambunctious in turning Irma to the north as well. Remember, Irma wanted to take more of a westerly track, and we do have a high pressure system forecast to be in the vicinity of the east coast of the United States about the same time. Way too complicated, and it would not be credible for me to make a call beyond this. I just wanted to show you that if we see a system right here into the Bahamas, we certainly need to watch it closely. And this will be late in the coming work week and more likely next weekend when this could be a big concern for the U.S. It would be named, once again, Maria. Here's the overview graphic. I'll leave you with this full screen as well. We have 3 systems to watch. We have Jose, not a direct threat to the United States. Lee, not a threat to anyone, but it's Tropical Depression 15 we need to pay attention to, soon to be called Maria. Stay tuned for further updates throughout the weekend and the week ahead from the Florida Public Radio Emergency Network.